Welcome to Wrestle Rant HD. I'm your host, Angelo Demetrius, and I am here at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio for tonight's Friday Night SmackDown. And this edition of Wrestle Rant HD will showcase some of the happenings that went on here tonight at Friday Night SmackDown, but of course I will be talking about whatever went on Monday Night Raw this week. So I want you to stay tuned for this edition of Wrestle Rant HD. You never know what I'll do to entertain you.
Yeah. What absolutely say it again, y'all. What
This is Wrestle Rant HD, America's #1 professional wrestling rant show. I'm your host, Angelo Demetrius, and you have come to the place where we get in your face about professional wrestling. It's what we do here. We're born to do it. We live to do it. We're glad to do it. Now, we're going to jump right into it and talk about professional wrestling. And a little bit of sports entertainment because we have to. After all, that's what Vince McMahon runs, isn't it? So anyway, look. Kind of a great week in professional wrestling. A little half and half. You see, Monday Night Raw was the coup de grace of the week. While SmackDown, well, we'll get to it later. It's SmackDown, okay? But let's start things off by talking about the important stuff. By the way, before I get any further into Wrestle Rant HD, I'd like to give a special hello to my little buddies, Zach and Travis. Listen, you want John Cena to win? Hold on to hope, kid. It can happen, if you believe. Now, let's talk about Triple H and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. You see, this conflict goes deeper than just Triple H and The Undertaker. It's also Triple H, The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels. Michaels has had a feud with Triple H. Triple H has had a feud with Michaels. Michaels has had a feud with The Undertaker. Undertaker's had a feud with Michaels. Triple H has had multiple feuds with The Undertaker. It just goes on and on and on, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, I thought it was a great point that Shawn Michaels made in the story when he said, isn't it ironic that the very one that could still end his career would be him? The one that could break the streak just by counting 1, 2, 3. Wow. Listen, I gotta give it to the WWE staff. They were really hitting it on the money with this one. Keep it up, WWE Creative. You're getting there. You're getting there. You almost know what professional wrestling is. Alright. How many of you saw John Cena's concert on Monday Night Raw? How many of you thought it was great? Darn, I can't even lie. I thought it was awesome. Listen. Not many times will you hear me on this show or anywhere say great things about John Cena. I usually don't. But the fact that John Cena went back to his old TV-14 character, the Doctor of Thugonomics, well, let me tell you, that had me on the edge of my seat just watching it. Listen, you might not like the Doctor of Thugonomics, but I like him a lot better than the Soldier Boy. John Cena really set the house on fire when the Doctor walked down that aisle to that old Basic Thugonomics music, got in that ring, and rapped his road to WrestleMania. Look, I know The Rock doesn't like it. I know The Rock thinks that John Cena caters to kids. Well, at least the other persona of John Cena does. But this persona of John Cena doesn't cater to kids. It caters to a thug lifestyle. I remember when John Cena was all about something called the Chain Gang. Hey John, have you noticed something? You picked that fan base up and the chain links start coming right back together. Look, I'm not saying you gotta keep it, man. All I'm saying is, it's good business. Are you hearing that, Vince? Cha-ching. Money. Business. Money. Alright, what a low blow under the belt by Chris Jericho to say that CM Punk's father was a stone cold drunk. Man, that is awful. I mean, who else do we know drinks? Scott Hall. In all fairness, he's trying to get better. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hey, that guy's not on the wagon, he's driving it. Look, so CM Punk's father likes to have a few beers here and there. At least he doesn't wake up in the morning and spritz too much gel in his hair and spike it up like a 12-year-old kid. All that aside, let me say this. I actually love the Chris Jericho character. Okay, you're CM Punk fans like me, alright? Nobody wants his ice cream bar worse than I do. But WWE is hitting it on the money with Chris Jericho's character. The back and forth between him and CM Punk is going to go down in history as classic in professional wrestling. These two are going to be the equivalent, I've already said it, of a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Macho Man Randy Savage. And dare I say, they may even surpass that once they get to WrestleMania. Folks, hang on to your hats, hold on to your seats, hide the kids. This is going to be a wrestling match at WrestleMania. Record it too, because you may not see that again. Alright, Cena's concert was good. The Rock's was fantastic. Alright, now wait a minute. Don't start throwing tomatoes at the screen just because I jumped on The Rock's boat here. The reason I'm saying it was fantastic is because it was. Cena had half the crowd cheering for him, and as usual, the other half of the crowd booing him. I only think the other half of the crowd booed him just because their kids were there. And that's okay, I understand. You want a kid-friendly atmosphere. But if John Cena is going to deliver to the masses, he's got to do it the way he did it before. However, the people's champ, the jabroni beating, pie eating, mouth talking, trailblazing, eyebrow raising people's champ The Rock really brought it. That's why he's the leader of Team Bring It. He got on that microphone like nobody else could, came out with The Rock's guitar, strummed the strum of the people's strum, and he sung the song that the people wanted to hear. Now, yes, it was all written down for him on a piece of paper in front of him. I'm not saying that he's the greatest person to remember promos ever. All I'm saying is this, is that The Rock really brought it to John Cena in that concert. I haven't seen a rock concert in a long time, so hey, I really loved it. Now, personal opinion for me, who's going to win between The Rock and John Cena? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, right here on WrestleRant HD, who I know is going to win that match. The guy that pins the other guy for the 3 count or gets a submission. This is America's #1 professional wrestling rant show, WrestleRant HD. Don't you go anywhere.
Word life, this is basic thugonomics. Word life. I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me. Whether fighting or spitting, my discipline is unforgiving. Got you backing up in a defensive position. And making anthem, heavyweight on bantam, holding camp for ransom. The microphone phantom, teams hit the floor, it's the new fight joint. Like a broken needle, kid, you missing a point. We dominate your conference with offense, that's no nonsense. My team song is get your reinforcements. We strike quick with hard kicks, ducking nice things.
Ladies and gentlemen, MC WrestleRant.
Walk away with 4 shiners. The raw rhymer, turning legends to old timers.
Hey yo, what's up? This here's Lil Diddy. what I'm saying? WrestleMania. Check. WrestleMania is around the block. I ain't tripping, I'm watching the clock. John Cena versus The Rock. Man, this match gonna be a crop. Everybody know the people's champ about to win. Cause John Cena gonna be on his back. 1, 2, 3 for the pin. Don't be tripping. Order the pay-per-view. Cause if you don't, Vince McMahon might come after you. You can't see me, but I can see you. This rap is about pro wrestling. And it's all that. Peace. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to America's #1 professional wrestling rant show, Wrestle Rant HD. And I, of course, am your host, Angelo Demetrius, bringing you back to the action, the entertainment, the fun of America's #1 professional wrestling rant show. Now, I personally went to Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday night, and let me tell you, Friday Night SmackDown was exactly what it always proves to be. A lackluster written show. Now, we're going to get started with showing you some of the highlights of what I've seen at WrestleRant. Alright, now, if you can't see this picture clearly enough, let me explain it to you. This is the Peep Show with Christian, where John Laurinaitis and Teddy Long come out to talk about who's going to be on their team, their 12-man team, at WrestleMania. Now, folks, all I got to say about this segment of SmackDown is boring! Moving right along. Alright, now, this is Lillian Garcia coming down to the ring, and her shoe literally fell apart and she tripped. No, it has nothing to do with SmackDown, but before SmackDown started, Lillian Garcia came down to the ring, her shoe completely fell apart, and she nearly broke her neck. Lillian, if you're watching this, I hope you're okay. All the best and love to you. Alright, the Bellas. Mr. SOS himself, Kofi Kingston. The Bellas again. Alright. The Great Khali. Now, you might ask, who is in the ring with him? Well, Cody Rhodes, of course. I mean, what fun is it to put a big guy in the ring against a big guy? So you pick the toothpick in the back. No, not Daniel Bryan. We'll get to him later. Cody Rhodes, the greatest Intercontinental Champion since the Ultimate Warrior, since the Honky Tonk Man, since Shawn Michaels, dare I say it, since the Macho Man Randy Savage. And he gets pummeled by the Great Khali. Cody Rhodes, of course, walking around doing a strut. The Great Khali stalking Cody Rhodes. The Great Khali excited because they rang the dinner bell.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Randy Orton coming out to make a promo against the Big Red Machine, or as I like to call him lately, the Big Red Ladder, came up, but to our surprise, who would later join Randy Orton other than not Khali, Kane himself. That's right. Kane would later on come out to join Randy Orton in the Friday Night SmackDown promo. Fans, let me tell you, this was not easy to sit through. It was like pulling teeth. are having teeth pulled. Look, nobody likes going to the dentist, and that reminded me of that, okay? Look, they got to do their thing for WrestleMania. Randy Orton's going to climb all over Kane, get back to the top, and they're going to give him the title again. The Big Show versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre going for the future shock DDT. Come on, folks. Tell me you think that's going to work. Me, Big Show, hungry. You, Drew McIntyre, look tasty. Yum, 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 yum. Alright, so the dinner bell rings, Mark Henry comes to the ring and decides he wants Chinese food. What's the name of that dish? Kung Fu Naki. And of course, don't act like you don't know how this match ends, folks. Sheamus versus Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho making his promo, of course, before Sheamus comes out to absolutely own him. And if you don't believe me about that, folks, well, what do you call that? Oh, that looks like that's going to hurt. Wait, wait, wait. It is going to hurt. Please, Mr. Sheamus, don't kill me. Look at that. Sheamus with the forearm across the chest. And yet another time, Sheamus destroying Chris Jericho with the forearm across the chest. I don't know about you, but that's actually one of my favorite moves.
So you done the things you thought you wanted to do.
Chris Jericho going for the walls of Jericho on Sheamus. By the way, that never worked. Those huge legs would not allow that to happen.
Oh, I just wanna be your friend. I just wanna be your friend.
Okay, let me explain this. SmackDown was over. This is called a dark match. Dark matches are untelevised matches that you don't get to see on TV. But right here, exclusively on WrestleRant HD, you get to see Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and Cody Rhodes versus The Big Show, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. Don't act like you don't know who won that match, folks. For those of you that are die-hard Randy Orton fans, there he is right there. And by the way, Randy Orton, if you're watching this, I just want to let you know that Stacy is absolutely in love with you. Not that it matters, I'm just throwing it out there. Stacy is direly in love with you. Well, folks, thank you for watching this edition of WrestleRant HD, and thank you for putting up with this WrestleRant HD host lunacy as usual. But when you come back next week, I promise you, not only the same kind of entertainment, but even better. Because I work for you, the fan. Because I'm a fan like you. This has been WrestleRant HD. I hope you'll join us back here next weekend, and I will be seeing you in your home. Same WrestleRant HD time, same WrestleRant HD channel. Good. Bye, everybody.